Let's start. We'll go first 5. So 20 through 16. Coming in at number 20 is someone that we're obviously like extremely familiar with. 2-time Grand Slam winner, former world number 1, someone that we saw recently at Baha Mar. Always fun to get a chance to talk with her. Listener of the pod, which is great as well. We tend to like you more if that's the case, selfishly. But Vika Azarenka, right? What went well for her in 2024? What can go better in 2025? Listen, she's just a producer. She's a competitor. She does not beat herself. When things are firing well, she just knows how to play the game of tennis. She knows how to get through matches. It seems like every time she's starting to fade down the ranking, she's able to come up with a result. So what went well for her in 2024? Nothing out of the ordinary. She just is a really, really, really Hall of Fame caliber tennis player, even if she's not at her absolute peak physically. Maybe she hit the ball harder at some points in her career. Maybe she moved a little bit better, but she's smarter and she can outcompete simply her way to 30 matches. Only played 15 tournaments this year. Even in a year where it's, for as compared to the rest of her career, the win-loss percentages are down. She still won 2 matches for every one that she lost, which there are a lot of people who would sign up for that for the rest of their lives. So what went well? Well, Vika just did Vika, and she's just going to continue to win matches and find a way to win matches as long as she's still around and decides that she wants to play this game. And what could go better in 2025? She didn't play much after the US Open, basically took 2 months off of tennis completely. When you are someone who has seen the top of the mountain in the game, who has been around for a long time, who has other interests outside of tennis, it's just a matter of how often do I play to stay motivated? Do I want to keep doing this for another year with the training and everything else? For her, similar, like when I retired, I had question marks about whether I could win another major. And ultimately, the thoughts in my head was like, I don't know if I have that lightning in a bottle 2-week move anymore. It felt like work for me, like real work, not like tennis player hard work for the first time. So I think just, what does she have to deal with in 2025? There's nothing she hasn't seen before. It's just a matter of, does she want to keep going? To what level does she want to play? Does she want to play 15 events or 25 events? What do you think about Vika Azarenka there, JW?
Vika Azarenka was born the same decade as you. She was born in the 80s. It's been more than a decade since she won her majors, but she still remains competitive. I've got a lot of respect.
She's a winner.
Tennis-wise, I have a lot of respect for what she does off the court. She's a mother. She's very active in WTA and player council and WTA politics. I think, like you say, look, she's closer to age 40 than to 30. On the other hand, she can still play top-level tennis. Can she win a third major? I think that might be a tall order, but she's in the conversation. Keep playing, keep doing your thing.
Yeah, and I was talking with her and talking about different equipment setups, and as we are prone to do when we're probably nearer the finish line than we are at the beginning, looking for those little advantages, a little more juice in a racket frame and string patterns. So she is messing around with those things currently, but listen, she's just a winner. Coincidentally, at 19, someone who we also saw at Baha Mar, who I don't know that well, but couldn't have been lovelier when I saw her, and even saw her interacting at Pro-Ams. Always a smile on her face. She was down in the Bahamas training, doing a 10-day run. Is Donna Vekic with Sasha Bain. So worked with Serena, Osaka. I love Sasha. I think he is just an absolute worker. Has kind of progressed his way up the coaching food chain to where, his resume stacks up against better than most at this point in his career. I like the enthusiasm. Donna Vekic completely won me over this year with the way that she competes. I still remember the Wimbledon semifinal against Paolini did not go the way that she wanted, but was one of the best matches of the year on the WTA side. She was running on fumes, had built up a lot of volume playing that tournament, playing long matches, and you could see and feel her fighting. And then to follow that up on a completely different surface and make the finals of the Olympics. I thought Donna Vekic had an unbelievable year in 2024. maybe find a way to get that form a little bit earlier to kind of lower the volume of matches played and the drama with matches played. But for this to be like kind of a comeback year for her to finish in the top 20, couldn't have been more impressed with her.
She played the French Open and lost to Danilovic, daughter of a Serbian player, daughter of an NBA player. I'll have you know. Just a gutting loss. Donna Vekic, I think, was up like a set in 5-1 at match points, and she was absolutely destroyed. There were some social media posts where she was very candid. We know a lot about her working and knowing Pam Shriver, who's been part of the camp. She recovers from that, and at the very next major, she comes within a few games of reaching the final, getting to the Wimbledon semis. That's a devastating defeat in itself. She thought she could win the tournament, and then what does she do? She goes to the Olympics and gets a silver medal. So, that says a lot about her resolve. She's 28 years old. It seems like, she's still in the meaty prime years, though she's definitely a veteran. The coaching change, the addition to the team is an interesting one. So Shabain, you see him walking around, and he's a big, he's a shredded, ripped guy, but he actually he's a really good tennis player who started with Patrick as Serena's practice partner. So he's really worked his way up, and I think this 2025 could be a big year for Donna Vekic. I mean, she's won a lot of matches, but she's also won them at the right times, and she's shown herself that she can get back up after some disappointment. One of these players, look for her in 2025. She could make some noise here.
Yeah, one of the best front foot players in the world also. She's kind of learning when to throw the knockout punch. Shot selection, I think, has been rapidly improved with under Pam's guidance, to her credit. When she gets on that front foot, she can absolutely send it, switching directions, playing against people's movement. Maybe those are adjustments that are the difference between 19 and 9, right? Maybe she's looking to crack the top 10 and to make going deep in these huge events like a Wimbledon, like an Olympics, something that happens all the time where it's shocking when she doesn't, right? But all in all, I think, looking back, when Donna Vekic is looking back on her career in 20 years, she will remember that summer of 2024 with Wimbledon, with the Olympics, and I hope very fondly and deservedly so. I thought she really showed a lot of mettle, a lot of guts in 2024. Number 18, Marta Kostyuk. I think anyone who is from Ukraine, we have to start with the caveat of, can you imagine having a career year when your country is in absolute turmoil, and being able to compartmentalize or use your fellow countrymen and women's need for something good to happen, and for it to come out in the wash for having a career year. And it wasn't as if she had that, like a Donna Vekic, where we look at those two massive results, right? And look at those. She was winning matches every week. I think what she did well in 2024 is just the overall consistency. I had Mike pull up her results before we got on, and it's, 2 rounds here, 3 rounds here, 4 rounds here. Just a model of consistency throughout the year for someone whose reputation maybe before 2024 was a little bit more mentally up and down, right? So how does she counter that narrative? By winning matches each and every week in 2024.
Yeah, I think let's keep in mind too, you go back to Ukraine. This was February 2022. So sometimes we see athletes and they're sort of galvanized by a situation. This is different. We are almost 3 years into this conflict now. And keep in mind, apart from the turmoil and the tragedy at home, that affects your training, it affects your base. She was been married in the interim. There's a lot going on here. She's a dangerous player. I think sometimes she looks great. We see her on Tennis Channel and she'll score an upset and she'll have, double-digit aces, and then the next match she won't come back as strong. So I think projecting to 2025, just sort of that match-to-match consistency and backing up a good performance with another good performance is important, but she's the highest ranked Ukrainian. There are, I think, a half dozen now in the top 100. So a lot of credit to the Ukrainian players. They are women, because on the men's side, a lot of the Ukrainian players are actually serving in a war. And, we're 3 years into this conflict. And I think that's a storyline that must accompany any analysis of a Ukrainian player. But Marta Kostyuk, a nice 2024, and with a little more match-to-match consistency. Let's see what she does in the next year. She's only 22 years old.
Yeah, the inconsistencies now in her game aren't from not winning matches every week. It's, hey, to make the finals of a slam, you got to put 6 together. in a short time frame, right? You can't do 2 up, 1 down, 2 up, 1 down. For the consolidated run of where we're looking at, the progression now needs to be from round of 16 to quarters, semis, finals, right? Like one more good match a week. But props to her because the results kind of used to look like a heart rate monitor, right? With peaks and valleys. And I think now it leveled out a little bit. Now what you want to do is just raise the floor a little bit week to week. But credit to her for the year she had. Number 17, Beatriz Haddad Maia. And I struggle with some players that you look at, and 36 and 27. Played a lot of events, always plays a lot of events, competes every week. The leftiness of the situation, known for playing these 3 and 4 hour absolute just, pull them into the gutter, and we're going to have a fight for the next, 3.5 hours of your life. I'm not sure what more adjustments could be made. I don't think she's the fastest player in the world. I think she's there. I think she does the basics. She's someone you would look at as a coach of a junior player and says, you know what? She doesn't beat herself very often, right? She may not be the fastest. She may not serve the biggest. She may not have the best ball speed in the world, yet she's a fixture in the top 20, flirts with the top 10, is an absolute pain in the ass when you see her in the draw. So for 2024 is more of the same, projecting forward to 2025. Can I switch directions a little bit more against the top players? Is there a way to cheat out some easier points, whether it's return position, whether it's playing against someone's movement, whether it's, whatever it might be? Maybe it's opening up the shoulders a la Andy Murray, where anytime you get a ball that's sitting, you open up the shoulders cross court, right? And someone has to actually cheat that way. So it opens up another one. I'd be curious to hear what adjustments she is looking to be made, because she's in that position where she knows her stock game and what she throws out there and how she competes is a top 20 thing. Is she going to take massive risks as she approaches week to week? Maybe put that top 20 situation at risk for the chance of being a top 10, top 8, semifinal, final of a slam. But a lot of respect for her. She competes her ass off every week.
Yeah, she's a bit of a mystery, because sometimes you see her and she I think she's about 6. I don't have this in front. She's about 6 feet tall. I mean, she's a big, forceful, authoritative presence, and she wins a lot of matches. The results at the majors just haven't really been there. She reached a French semifinal. I believe she lost in the first round this year on clay. Kind of a mystifying player. I think she's a good presence on tour. She competes with a smile and is popular among her teammates. 28 years old. A lot of power and a lot of size, a lot of results week to week. The major results just haven't been there, and I think that's something to watch in 2025.
And number 16 is an exciting one, because this is someone who I think JW might have jumped the gun a little bit this year with putting her in a Grand Slam final, and if he keeps doing that, he's going to be right at some point. I think the consensus around tennis universe is that Mirra Andreeva will be a Grand Slam champion at some point, still super young, to put together a win-loss record of 34 and 16, which is essentially, she had been on the tour for 7-8 months. She had that breakout in Madrid 2 years ago. Pretty impressive stuff, and all without having the biggest shot on the court yet. You feel like she's still growing in to her body. Doesn't have that knockout power, so problem solves. Her ability, her variety, her ability to switch directions, even hiring Conchita Martinez as a coach, realizing, hey, listen, where do I source wisdom? And going out and finding someone like Conchita. Those are all very, very intelligent progressions on and off the court in 2024. What does she do in 2025? More of it, right? Just let the progression take hold. It's simultaneously exciting, and also the pragmatist in me is just going, do the same things for the next 3 months. And then after that, for the next 3 months, it might not go perfectly, but I think this is someone who's going to be holding a big trophy at some point.
You wonder a crazy stat?
Yes.
Can this be right? Someone check me on this. She's the only teenager in the top 100, I believe.
That's shocking for
that
women's
long
tennis
ago
too.
when Martina, Monica Seles won what, eight majors as a teenager. Steffi won the Golden Slam as a teenager. One teenager. It's Mirra Andreeva. She's 17 years old, so that means she's got 9 more majors left before she turns 20. One thing that impresses me here, sometimes we see these young players are precocious, and what do we say? Well, it's LeBron, it's Rafa, there's Jennifer Capriati, there's physical maturity. I'm not sure that's the case here. I think there's more emotional maturity, and there's a really sort of tactical, strategic game. She's not winning by serving 10 aces every set. This is just really solid, composed, poised tennis, and maybe it was a bit premature of me. You're right. I'll plead guilty to that one. May have been a little premature to start predicting or reaching major finals as a 17-year-old, but not by that much. And she's made semis of majors already. More importantly, she's won a lot of matches. She tends to play her best at these big events. I think you're right. I mean, 17 years old, a lot of runway ahead, but I think the major in her future is a when and not an if. Lots to like here.
That's a good point you said about like someone being a phenom, but it largely being based in physical dominance, right? You look at a Capriati, you look at a Monica Seles, you mentioned Rafa Becker on the men's side, where you come out and it's like, oh my gosh, what a special athlete. I think Andreeva falls more in the category of, my mind goes to an Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, who wins Roland Garros at 17, and Martina Hingis, who is maybe one of the smartest players I've ever watched play. And if I want to take back on my dream Dingles pairing, or that I want to watch from 8 shows ago, callback, Martina Hingis would be in that group, because she is such a savant and such a genius. Listen, Andreeva is going to be what she is going to be. Who knows how much she grows, how much the ball speed improves. You cannot and will not ever be able to take away her tennis brain, which is certainly outcompeting every other teenager in the world at this point. So a lot of exciting things ahead for Mirra Andreeva.